As we go into our last and final round, well, maybe not final round, but our fifth round, typically our last round of the game, is this. Ladies and gentlemen, and both of our contestants, what is the most quotable film of the 80s? What is the most quotable film of the 80s? Now, this is an open-ended question. You get to choose and decide whatever answer comes comes to you the best and the clearest. So this is a round where you actually get to choose the film that you are fighting for. So while you guys are thinking about that, let me just jump back to the opening bit right here. If you haven't already done so, I highly encourage everyone to jump over to the Gotta Love Them Movies YouTube page. Just go to youtube.com, type in Gotta Love Them Movies. You'll see a little red square in the top right-hand corner that says subscribe. Go ahead and click that button. What clicking that subscribe button does for us is that it widens our subscriber base. But Mike, we're watching Gotta Debate Them Movies on Facebook Live. Why do we have to go to YouTube? Well, it's really rather simple. By building our subscriber base, we also help to encourage people to watch videos. And the more videos that are watched, the better chances I have to start earning ad revenue. When I start earning ad revenue, I get to make this show my full-time job. So if you enjoy what it is that we're doing here, please go over to YouTube, go to the Gotta Love Them Movies YouTube page, click that subscribe button, and help us build this community where we all just get to sit around and chit chat movies and talk about our favorite things in the world. And don't forget, we also have an 8-bit Donatello up for grabs. If anybody wants to be the winner of, there's a siren, a very loud police siren going on right now. That police siren wants to win this 8-bit Funko Pop Ninja Turtle. If you want to be considered in the running to win this 8-bit Funko Pop Ninja Turtle of Donatello, please jump down to the comment section below and write the words Toy Tuesday 8-bit Donatello. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and that you like and share this video. Okay, guys, so with all of that down and out of the way, we're going to jump right back into our Gotta Debate Them Movies. Kay, have you had a moment to think about what you personally consider to be the most quotable film of the 1980s? What do you got?
Yes. Airplane.
Ooh, Airplane. Interesting. Great movie. And Josh, how about for yourself? What is your what do you consider to be the most quotable film of the 1980s?
All I gotta say is you're gonna know the answer to this when I ask you, who are you gonna call?
Ooh.
Ghostbusters!
Ooh, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Ghostbusters versus Airplane. We've got ourselves a fight here. We have got ourselves a fight. Airplane versus Ghostbusters. What is the most quotable film of the 1980s? This is round number 5. Who went first last time? I believe that was Kay. I believe you went first last time, correct?
Probably. I don't know.
All right, Josh, you are going first in this round. As the challenger, you get to go first in round number 5. Ghostbusters, tell us, why is it the most quotable film of the 1980s?
Ghostbusters. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
That's your argument? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's my argument. Simple enough. Ghostbusters, come on. Like, there's so many quotable lines in this movie. Look, when you said Airplane, I was like, yeah, Airplane is a great quotable movie. But, like, I feel like Airplane, oddly enough, would be, I think, not as big of the population would be able to quote Airplane as I think Ghostbusters. I think Ghostbusters permeated a little deeper into the consciousness of society, and in terms of the lexicon of everything. Who you gonna call is just like, again, that is the iconic. I feel like if you had a list of film quotes, who you gonna call Ghostbusters is gonna be in the top 5, if not the top answer for the 80s for quotes. Don't cross the streams. If someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. There's just so many great ones. We can go on and on.
Very, very strong coming out of the gate. Kay, what makes Airplane the superior quotable film of the 1980s?
So if we're talking about the idea of film quotes permeating culture and getting into our brains, a film that people quote and don't even realize what it's coming from has to be the best example of that, because you'll hear people say, I am serious and don't call me Shirley all the time. And they might not know what film that's from. That's how deep into our brains that film has gotten. As to who you going to call Ghostbusters is a super great catchphrase. But is it really like a quotable quote? Is that something you can say in daily life when someone says a hospital? What is it? And you can say a building with patients, but that's not important right now. That is a quote. That is something that's down in your brain. Or the ever running joke of like, I picked a bad week to quit blank. That's still funny, even if it's something silly, like picked a bad week to stop drinking coffee. That is still in our minds, all the way from a film from 1980. That's how much sticking power the quotes from a film like Airplane have.
Josh, sticking power from permeating our culture with these particular quotes in Airplane. How do you combat that?
Look, I'm not going to lie and say that Airplane is not a quotable movie, because it is one of my favorite movies of all time. And yes, it is extremely quotable, and I totally agree with you. And that's a tough one to fight against. But having said that, I feel like, again, Ghostbusters is the, I don't know, I just feel like Ghostbusters has the line to top all of the lines. Again, it's the Back to the Future of quotables. I think Who You Gonna Call Ghostbusters is such a quotable line. Yes, you won't use it a lot in terms of, you're not going to use it like for everything, but I think if you say that, people are going to know instantly what we're talking about. They're going to love it. Also, we don't see a lot of Airplane remakes. We don't see a lot of people clamoring for Airplane remakes. Now, not necessarily meaning that that has a lot to lean in on the quotes per se, but I think, again, talking about permeation in terms of culture, I think all of those Ghostbuster quotes have permeated culture so much that, like, if in the remakes, they're going to be making, they've made some, they've already remade some, they're making another one, there's another one coming out soon. These are things that people want. They want more of, obviously. And so I think Ghostbusters is just truly beloved. Airplane is funny, and it's, again, in a different world, I might be arguing for Airplane too, but right now, I definitely think that, Ghostbusters definitely is the, culturally, the quotes permeate.
So, Kay, we have more Ghostbusters movies being made. We've had multiple. We've had 2 sequels, and there's a third one yet to come out in theaters. We've only had 1 Airplane sequel so far. What is you talk about the cultural significance and how these quotes from Airplane have become embedded into the fabric of our society. But in terms of remakeability, where do you stand?
Quality over quantity. It's a great film. It doesn't need to be remade. Plus, that cast, there's so many amazing actors, and why would we need to remake it? It was great the first time.
Fantastic. Josh, we're going to go. Yes, go ahead.
I will say, we can't go toe-to-toe on the cast on this one. Unfortunately, I feel like Ghostbusters may dominate with cast-wise. I mean, you've got Bill Murray, you've got Dan Aykroyd, it's just like, come on, that's a tough way to go against, because, man, both of them have great casts, but I feel like,
okay, so going into our final round of going back and forth here, Josh, what is your final argument to say? Like, what is it? You keep saying Ghostbusters, who are you gonna call? You keep leaning on that one particular quote. What other quotes from the film make it more culturally relevant, and what is it about the quotes that make what is it about the quotes of Ghostbusters that dominate the quotes of Airplane? This is your final argument. Go.
Okay. Look, don't cross the streams. Yes, it's true. This man has no. And you can fill in the blank. Look, if there ever was a quote for today, I think it might be that one. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. All I can say is there are a lot of great quotes in that movie. It's filled with great quotes. It's a great movie. Again, culturally, I'm leaning heavily into the idea that Ghostbusters, I think, culturally is a little more relevant in that regard, and therefore those quotes have a little bit more weight. Whereas Airplane has so many great quotes, but I think that's where they stay. They stay right there with that movie, and they get a laugh and a smile with that movie. But I feel like with Ghostbusters, you get a lot more leverage and a lot
Sounds
more mileage.
good. More mileage, more leverage. Kay, what is your final arguments here?
So, do we all remember before the internet and before memes and stuff, and we would just hang out in our friends' houses and, say silly things to each other and, quote silly movies we'd seen? My generation's was Napoleon Dynamite. My parents' generation was Airplane. They sat around and joked and quoted Airplane at each other, and everyone had a riot of a time. I don't know that Ghostbusters quite had that same effect. Yes, it was a good film and it maybe had a good couple quotes, but you didn't sit around giggling about it just saying, picked a bad week to stop smoking, or have you ever been to a Turkish prison, to one another, like you do with Airplane. So that's my final argument.
All right, you guys. We've heard back and forth final arguments. Everything has been pretty definitive. I mean, you guys have raised some great points. Kay, you talk about like the cultural impact of how quotable Airplane is in your personal family, and how it also has kind of a larger, broader cultural aspect. Josh, your strongest argument here was that, the quotes in the movie, not just the quotes, have helped to spawn a bigger franchise, but it's how the quotes have made this film more memorable and fun and interesting, and those are the things that have gone off to help create a bigger franchise. Kay, you combat that argument by saying like quality over quantity. I mean, you both have kind of gone back and forth a little bit, and this is a tough one for me, because I love both of these movies. I love both of the quotes in these movies. But at the end of the day, I have to choose a winner. This is what makes my job so particularly difficult. Josh, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I think I know where you're
Okay.
going with this.
Okay.
But I feel good. I feel happy with that. I feel happy with that.
You feel happy with that? With how you feeling?
I feel happy with Ghostbusters.
Great.
But yes, well, I'll caveat this after.
Yep. Kay, how you feeling over there?
I had 2 cups of coffee this morning, which is twice as much as my psych says I should have. So it's very interesting feelings over here right now.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, I have to choose a winner. And, for all of those things that I previously said, Kay, you are the winner. Once again, the reigning champion. You're coming back, not next week, because we're not going to have a show next week, but you will be coming back the following week. Reigning champion. This is what, your third win? Third win?
Third.
How many of these shows have we done? Third win.
Are you regretting
Nice.
asking me to do this yet?
Never. Absolutely never. That World War II degree in film studies has really come to pay off.
I need to put it on the shelf so it's in the background so people can see that I'm not lying. I actually have a degree.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what this dinosaur would want you to do. Roar, roar, roar!